Hello everybody, vanburman here. You know, most of the time in the day I can deal with Square-Enix and their general butchering of the Final Fantasy series, but the sheer amount of misguided people that are liking Final Fantasy XIII-3 Lightning Returns. Lightning should have gone and not come back as far as I'm concerned, is just stupid. It's a sort of a cross between, I don't know, The Sims and a racing game, I suppose, in a sense. Now, I can't quite get my head around what the fascination is. I mean, I get to dress up one character from Final Fantasy as another character from Final Fantasy. A far more successful and well-developed character from Final Fantasy. And then, I want to explore the world wearing a previous character's clothing which doesn't even exist in this particular game world. I could understand if the games were somehow linked, if Cloud was they somehow put him into Final Fantasy 13 and he existed as an entity there. I don't know, that would just be stupid anyway. The thing is, you lower the lore, the story, the magic from the game by adding these things in. And why have they added it in? DLC, of course. It has to be downloadable content that they can shift on for more moolah. And you download the demo and you get costumes. Yeah, I want more costumes for Lightning. You can dress her up and no, stop it right now. If you're one of these players, stop it. Stop dressing Lightning up and keep her as she's meant to be. Despite the fact I don't like the game, is totally irrelevant. If they re-released a different Final Fantasy and did this, I would be saying exactly the same thing. And then it's all this, who can get the highest score on Lightning Returns on the demo? Just a way to integrate the game a little bit more in an online platform. Challenge your friends to see who can get the best score on Final Fantasy, and then share it with the world. No, it is not what Final Fantasy is about. Come on, people. Realise this before this game is released. I personally want this to be one of the lowest selling Final Fantasies in history. Despite what that might do to Square Enix, because they're still developing 15. 15's still going to come out. I don't hold very high hopes for that with how they're absolutely butchering a bad Final Fantasy by carrying on to 3 parts and then adding in costumes and downloadable content that they can constantly recycle. Final Fantasy 13-2 was worse for this. You could download playable characters that you had to beat in a Colosseum. I'm not even going to start with Final Fantasy 13-2. It's been done and it's happened. I'd have thought you'd learnt your lessons by now, Square Enix. The idea that you can add in these costumes and people will go out and buy them. Yes, they will, because they're idiots. But if you want the gaming series to be as it could be, I don't know. Actually, I can't even say that because you've already gone too far now. You've gone too far. And you're carrying on, which is fair enough. At least you're consistent, I suppose. At least now we have a new form of consistency from you, don't we, Square Enix? That you can carry on putting out these crap titles with these crap incentives to play your demo. People are going to want to play a Final Fantasy demo anyway. Don't you understand that? People are going to want to play a game whether you put in costumes for Cloud or Yuna or whoever else you're going to make Lightning dress up as. It is absolutely absurd. It dilutes the rich flavour of the franchise as a whole. It doesn't, don't get me wrong, making this game has absolutely no effect on Final Fantasy 13. It was the way it was going anyway, let's be honest. I'm just disappointed about the fans' reaction to it. No doubt there are elements to it that are enjoyable. I'm sure the game is not complete and utter rubbish. It's just the whole ethos and idea behind it that you would add this stuff in. Why? The thing is, to a certain extent, it's not even really yours to butcher in this way. The game was made by Squaresoft. The company is now totally different as Square-Enix. It's got totally different people behind the scenes, and surely, as even just common courtesy, you leave the stuff which has been done and is successful away from this stuff. It's a really bad ploy to try and use past success to bring you money now. Come on, you've milked Final Fantasy VII after how well it's done. You've made the film, you've made the spin-offs, and you're spinning off Final Fantasy XIII more times, even though it's not a good game. You knew it wasn't a good game, you knew it was a failure, but no, let's plow on regardless and make another game. I don't even know what to say, really, to be honest. You just keep driving that nail into the RPG franchise. You've submitted to the mainstream philosophy of action RPG over a pure, fully blooded RPG that we're used to from you guys. I would say used to. I haven't been used to it for, goodness me, over 10 years. Nearly half of my life I have not had a good RPG from you. Actually, no. Last Remnant was okay. It was okay. But anyway, I don't have anything more to say. Just don't buy Lightning Returns. Seriously. Send a message. Buy it pre-owned. That's my message to you. Don't download the DLC. And just don't give these guys money for making a terrible game. If you have to play it, borrow it off a friend. Although your friend shouldn't buy it. Don't buy the DLC, honestly. It's a mockery of the Final Fantasy genre. So to me it's a genre. It's got that many games, that many spin-offs, that many good moments that it deserves that title, but it's losing it. It's lost, well, yeah. It's not lost it totally, but more crap like this. Absolute garbage. It's a disgrace, Square-Enix. And if I'm honest, you think that you're going to be able to be more profitable, get yourselves back on track by doing this sort of thing. It's not how it happens. You go back to your roots, you do what people love and make that work. That's how you get out of it. This is not the way to get out of it. If you carry on making rubbish like this, I'm glad that I'm pointing to it, so it looks like I'm actually pointing to it, then you are going to fail. And if you do this with Final Fantasy 15, I hope that you fail, because you've butchered this series for far too long, and this is a bad example. This is the worst example I've probably so far. The fact that you've made 3 parts to 13, which is by far the worst one. Is 13 an unlucky number? It is for some, and it is for me, and it is for you guys at home as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hopefully you found this not informative, because it hasn't been informative. It's just my opinion on the matter. But, God, it makes me mad. See you next time, guys.